There is so much still to be discovered about our shared past. It's like a treasure we want to explore, the traces of the history shared by the Netherlands and our partner countries. This shared cultural heritage enriches our view on the present and opens up possibilities for new connections through cooperation.
The Shared Cultural Heritage Programme is a national programme and it's part of the international cultural policy of the Netherlands government. Within this international cultural policy, shared heritage is one of the priorities. And the goal of this programme is the sustainable preservation of shared cultural heritage. The Cultural Heritage Agency is one of the organizations executing this policy, but there are also the National Archives, Dutch Culture, a Centre for International Collaboration, and the Netherlands embassies in 10 partner countries.
Exchange of knowledge enables us to constantly give new meaning to our cultural heritage in a changing society. Reciprocity is the programme's greatest strength. Together with our partner countries, we aim at the sustainable maintenance and utilization of our shared cultural heritage and to build a prosperous future, thus increasing the significance of our shared heritage. To do so, the Cultural Heritage Agency recognizes 3 fields of expertise: maritime archaeology, built environment, and collections, represented by Jolanda Ezendam, Jean-Paul Korten, and Martijn Manders.
First of all, the Netherlands is a maritime country. We have made all our connections with different cultures, with different countries, with different markets, because we're also an economic country. We've done overseas. Thousands and thousands of ships went all over the world. We investigate Dutch cultural heritage together with the countries where they're in.
This opens up options for very interesting explorations, now more than ever before.
We are now on the verge of a new era.
Since there is more and more information available from different angles, we can paint a more complete picture of this mutual past.
All the history we shared with these other countries long time ago, that's what interests me.
But our collaboration with the partner countries takes us further than a shared past.
It goes far beyond the historic argument. It is much more than history that we're dealing with. For example, today, one of the current issues is about ecology, about working in an eco-efficient way. Ecology is one of the current arguments for conserving heritage. But there are also economic arguments, job creation, revitalizing inner cities, attracting foreign direct investment. There are also social arguments for keeping the heritage and keeping urban structures alive, since they can help in keeping social cohesion. There are also, according to some researchers, there are psychological arguments, since what they say is that historical layers make people feel more happy in the cities they live in. So it goes far beyond history, it goes far beyond the stories that are behind this heritage.
From this starting point, the Cultural Heritage Agency works together with partner countries to explore how heritage can contribute to a sustainable future. For example, the button factory in Moscow that can be saved by finding a new purpose for it. In the Netherlands, reuse of monumental buildings is ongoing practice, and this expertise is shared with the Russian colleagues. In the situation in Russia, they cannot rely on subsidies, so they need to focus on needs that do already exist on the location. That is exactly what Jean-Paul, together with his partners in Moscow, discovered.
What this community lacks is a kind of city center with all kinds of facilities. And the location of this factory building, as well as its spatial features, can very much accommodate these needs of the current society over there.
Another interesting example, the collections of Dutch furniture in the Hudson Valley on the east coast of the United States of America. In the 17th century, Dutch influences were widely spread in that part of the United States. At the end of the 19th century, America experienced a Holland mania. The Americans began to romanticize their colonial roots and put a special interest in the Netherlands. Experts from both countries now work together to better understand this shared heritage.
In that period, the Americans thought to know how the Dutch decorated their houses. So they made reconstructions, they thought they were reconstructions, of a Dutch interior with the furniture they have. But it wasn't the way we did it. So what we want to share with them, they would like to know, how was a Dutch interior designed in the 17th century? How can they use the furniture they have to present it to the people?
In the case of maritime archaeology, it's more complex. Ships can be excavated or maintained at the bottom of the sea to allow us to excavate them later. But we also want to preserve the cultural heritage of orature. Stories being told need to be conserved. For example, on the island of Tarama.
In Japan, we have a shipwreck which sank in 1857 on Tarama, a very small island, and all the people from that shipwreck survived and were taken up by families on the island, and those stories about these people are still surviving. So people are still telling them, and we want to collect them together with our Japanese colleagues as a shared heritage between our two countries.
Another important topic, how do we want to deal with contested heritage? That is what we want to investigate, seeking the dialogue with our 10 partner countries.
When you talk about shared history, it's the whole history. So it's not only the good parts, but also the parts which are not so positive.
Those are just a few examples of the importance of preserving the past.
I really like international collaboration because it makes the world bigger and smaller. So, because the Netherlands is such a small country and there's so much to learn from other countries and also so much to discover about our shared history. But it also makes the world smaller because by working together with other countries, you discover that you have so much in common. So the connections are very easily made, actually. It's our shared history. I think that's the most important, that we learn from it and that we give it meaning in the present.